the Johnny Gosh mystery. The year was 1982. The place is West Des Moines, Iowa. There was a boy just 12 years old waking up on the morning of September the 5th, 1982. His name was Johnny David Gosh, born November the 12th, 1969. Johnny had a small job delivering the morning newspapers. Johnny left his home, where he lived with his mother, Noreen, and his father, John. His parents have since divorced in 1993. John Gosh's father usually accompanied his son every morning while he delivered his newspapers, but that morning his father did not go with him. Johnny disappeared that morning between the hours of 6 and 7 a.m. He never returned home. He was last seen delivering the morning papers 2 blocks away from his home. Eyewitnesses reported that they had seen him being pushed into a blue car that drove off quickly out of the area. It was later learned that police failed to follow up on these leads. The 39-year-old mystery of his disappearance is still unsolved. Police did not have much to go on. A fundraising effort online raised a total of $15,000 to help in the search for the truth. Johnny's mother, Noreen, has worked tirelessly looking for clues over the years, searching for her son. On the night of September the 4th, Johnny asked his mother if he could do the paper round by himself. She said no. Only being 12 years old, she felt he was too young to be doing the round on his own and preferred that his father would be with him. That night, after going to bed, Johnny came back downstairs and kissed his mother and told her he loved her, and then returned to his bed. He set off the next morning alone, taking his pet dog and his red-painted wagon with the papers in. He always tied his dog to the wagon. When Johnny never returned home at his usual time, his parents started to worry, so his dad, John, went to look for him. He knew which route he would be on. His father returned and frantically running in the house, shouting, "He has gone, he is gone." His dad had found his dog and his red wagon with the papers still in it. The dog was still tied to it, but no sign of Johnny anywhere. They called the police and waited. In this time, people expecting their newspapers called the Gosh home and asked why they had not received their papers yet. So John, his father, went off and delivered the rest of the papers. While Noreen was waiting for the police to arrive, she called several homes of other paper boys that they knew in that area, asking if anyone had seen Johnny that morning. 2 of the boys said they did see Johnny in the street, while a light 2-toned blue car was also seen close to Johnny. The person in the car was attempting to talk to Johnny. He was asking him directions to where is unclear. Johnny told another paper boy that the man in the car frightened him. Johnny was followed until out of sight of the boys, and then 2 men snatched Johnny. A witness in the street saw the blue 2-toned old Fairmont car reverse back up the street to where Johnny was, and saw him being pushed into the car. He was being held down by these 2 men in the back of the car, which then sped off fast around a corner. This was the last time anyone saw Johnny Gosh. The police finally arrived at the Gosh residence and were in no hurry to look for the missing boy. They considered that he was a runaway and would not treat this as an abduction until 72 hours had passed. His mother, Noreen, being a strong woman, was not satisfied with this and just knew something was so terribly wrong. She knew her son would not run away from home. She immediately started to call friends and family to ask for help and organize a search party as the police were doing nothing. Noreen's nightmare was only just beginning and would have no end to this day. She still is looking for her son. She started her own investigation as local authorities and FBI were not offering the help she needed to find her son. Noreen hired a private investigator who followed leads that the police and the FBI did not do. What she learned was horrific, sickened her. Johnny was abducted for one purpose: to be used in a global paedophile and pornography ring. He was kept alive and being tortured of a satanic sexual nature. This would reduce his self-consciousness and make his vulnerability to brainwashing. Doing this would make him become the property of the cult that had abducted him. This story goes even shadier and deeper than Noreen could have imagined. Still determined, she carried on looking for her son. Nothing was going to get in her way, however horrific her investigations became. 9 hours had passed since it was reported, with no contact from police in those 9 hours. The police returned to the Gosh home and asked for pictures of Johnny. They did a house-to-house visits with the residents of the street, but this was done very shoddily. Noreen saw that no one was taking notes, and none of the officers involved were writing anything down. Noreen was told to stay indoors and not go searching yet again. By now, 6 months had passed since Johnny was abducted. In the parking lot of a convenience store in Oklahoma, a woman was approached by a young male screaming, "I am Johnny Gosh, I have been kidnapped." Within seconds, 2 men immediately appeared and accosted Johnny, who grabbed him and were never seen again. Years passed by with no more leads until a dollar bill was given to Johnny's parents with the message written on it, "I am alive, Johnny Gosh." Noreen confirmed this was Johnny's handwriting. More clues surfaced in Denver, Colorado. Johnny Gosh was here, written in red nail polish on the wall in the restroom of a restaurant. Noreen just knew her son was alive and would never give up her quest to find him. Noreen carried on her search for her son. Her fight continued to reveal the silent truth about his abduction. In Noreen's hunt for Johnny, she learned that the child sex trafficking organization that abducted Johnny had direct connections to top people, including the CIA, military, politicians in Washington, D.C. All this information was confirmed. In March 1997, Noreen was at home when a knock on the door came. Noreen called out, "Who is there?" A voice called out, "Mom, it's me, Johnny." Noreen opened the door and saw her son. She knew it was him. He was accompanied by another person. Nothing was spoken about this person. The last time she saw her son was 15 years ago. Johnny sat down with his mother. He talked and gave a brief description of what his life had been like. He asked her for help and said he did not want to live this life anymore, a life of fear every day. He had been captured by a paedophile organization. This dreadful life a young boy had to face every day. Then they cast him aside when he grew older and no longer any use to them. Johnny has lived under an assumed identity. Johnny did not stay long. He was gone before the sun came up, and Noreen has never seen her son again. John Gosh, who divorced Noreen in 1993, made a public remark that he is not sure that this visit happened. Many think this person was not Johnny who came to see her, and you must ask yourself, why did he not stay home? There have been many rumors of law enforcement involvement and high-up politicians in Washington, D.C., CIA, and the military. Noreen Gosh was honored in August 2013 for her work in educating parents on the dangers of child predators and human trafficking. She received an award during the 11th Preventing Abuse Conference. Noreen has tirelessly worked to bring awareness of the abduction and exploitation of children. She helped identify human trafficking before it was given a name. She is a leader within the Center for Missing and Exploited Children, instrumental for advocating for stricter laws. Noreen provided information to the FBI in 2007 after discovering Johnny Gosh's photo on a Russian website, which led to the arrest of 700 pedophiles in several countries. Johnny was the first missing child to be put on milk cartons. This got his disappearance circulated to almost every home in West Des Moines, Iowa. 2 years later, in West Des Moines, Iowa, on the 12th of August, 1984, another paperboy named Eugene Wade Martin disappeared while delivering the morning papers. Like Johnny, leaving his papers behind undelivered, his bag and papers were found at the scene. The search for both still continues today. There are links to articles in the description with more in-depth information. Pedophilia and child trafficking is a very delicate subject, and I did not feel comfortable using people's names. And that's the mystery of Johnny Gosh.